Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm gonna be a little blunt here. I went into everything before this review with pretty much no hesitation whatsoever. A jackass trying to marry his son? No problem. Our two heroes trying to date rape a girl in summer camp? That's easy. Hell, a 7-year-old kid trying to make a sex tape with his 80-year-old teacher? Not a problem. But there's a limit. We all have our limits. Everything that I've showed you beforehand, that's nothing compared to what you're about to see. I feel like I'm reviewing The Splinter all over again. No wait, The Splinter was tame to what you're about to see. I'm not fucking around here. What am I talking about? I mean, I must be overreacting. I mean, sure, the episode is called Poop Doggy Dogg, but how bad could it really be? Here's how I describe Mega Babies. It's like if Satan shed out the Rugrats on top of a pile of Ren and Stimpy. The only thing this show is good at is scaring teens away from sex. But too bad it's aimed at kids. And here's why we shouldn't just show our kids any piece of shit that comes flying out of the screen. Let's begin. Okay, the premise of the show, I think, is that one day some cosmic bullshit happened and 3 babies got superpowers. Their nanny got electrocuted by something and got super intelligence. The title sequence shows us some of the things we're in for. Some of the ugliest animation that I've ever seen, background music composed by throwing things at a distorted radio, and plenty of gross out humor. The 3 Mega Babies start staring out a window and at some dog. Well, let's start with the fact that everyone in this cartoon, not just the babies, constantly has spit shooting out of their mouth. If you have, say, a problem with drool or something, then this show is probably akin to something like legal torture. The babies decide that they want a puppy, but their nanny says that could cause a whole lot of trouble. So they start screaming. We're only a minute in, and I'm already nauseous. Oh yeah, as you can tell, because they're super babies, their screams need to be high-pitched enough to cause migraines. This causes the nanny to relent and go to the pet store. Why the fuck is everything at an angle? Who designed these sets? MC Escher? I probably wouldn't be reviewing this if the only thing wrong with it was the spit shooting out of everyone's mouth, because this does want to be gross to the general public. Like this one taking a huge pile of snot out of his mouth and tossing it at the wall. Let's talk gross out humor for a moment. Here's how I understand it to work. It works best when characters are forced to deal with something, like getting covered in shit, and it never works when the gross stuff is just there. Bottom line, the characters need to be cringing more than the audience. Beyond that, you need to have a story set up, and then you put the gross shit in.
You got some kind of kids, lady. But even kids who are disgusting to the point of being scary enjoy spending quality time in our puppy pavilion.
Do I even need to comment? It'd be best if this thing could review itself, because to tell you the truth, I'm sick to my stomach. Now we move on to the babies beating up the animals because, haha, they don't know their own strength. One of them pulls a dog's ear and he shits on the floor. And for some reason, this episode doesn't want to show it. I don't know why not. I mean, is there any reason not to? We're long beyond the standards of taste. I was joking! God, what the fuck is wrong with this show? And we constantly see grotesque close-ups. Okay, here's another problem. A good gross-out show knows when to relent with its constant barrage of horrors. It's like a good joke. The more you use it, the less effective it gets. You have to keep building it, or it becomes repetitive and unnecessary. The babies eventually cause pandemonium.
You see how a dog can be covered?
No, I can only see how the babies can be trouble. Also, the voice acting is pretty damn bad.
Puppy!
Except for the nanny, it sounds like everyone did their lines in one take. Back at the house, the babies attempt to play dogs. I think we're supposed to find this charming, but it's kinda hard with these mutant designs and one having snot hanging out of his nose. This ends up destroying the house. And yeah, they emptied the shelf before they used the explosion effect. They're not even trying.
We want a puppy! We want a puppy! We want a puppy!
This goes without saying, but these characters are annoying as all hell. I know what you're thinking. They're kids, so of course they're gonna be annoying. Yeah, sure, some of the time. I mean, the Rugrats are annoying in every single episode. There's supposed to be a charm to it, and something we're supposed to like about them. Take a look at Steven from Steven Universe. He's the best written child character I've ever seen, because he acts exactly like a kid. That includes being annoying some of the time, but also having a big heart. And the writers are smart enough to know how to keep him likable. Pretty much every way that this series fails. So they decide to make a robot dog, and each of them gives a little bit of advice on what to add.
What do you want puppy to have? That's right.
Gotta have good digestion.
It's a fucking robot! This results in an abomination of hell. They decide to call him Bullet. Believe it or not, in this whole piece of shit, he's the only character that I know the name of. It's not my ignorance or anything. They literally haven't told me who anyone is throughout the theme song or at any point through this episode. I don't demand that every character should have a full introduction, but I would like some way to tell these characters apart, other than their color. All of these babies look like a radioactive Tommy Pickles. They throw a ball, and of course, Bullet's got a rocket on his ass. He immediately comes back, and apparently they have to walk the dog now. Why do you have to walk a robot dog? Seriously, I mean, it would make sense if he had something like a personality like Goddard, but the only thing he's done is home in on a ball. Speaking of which, the pacing here is shit.
Is he gonna pee?
Well, that answers one question and raises another. Why would you give a robot dog the need to pee? Apparently, he pees battery acid. Why the fuck would you design something like this? Unless it's supposed to be a weapon of mass destruction. We cut to later and it seems like the babies are already tired. They threw a ball and it melted a tree. I don't see how that could have tired anyone out. The next morning, it seems like the dog had destroyed everything.
Oh, it's toys. I'm tired of having a puppy. Me too.
Oh, how cute. They don't understand the consequences of their actions. And they're the main characters of the show, too. So they leave the dog outside, and when the super strong robot dog can't break the collar, he starts barking like crazy. Yeah, this show's not only an assault on the eyes, but an assault on the ears as well. For some reason, these babies are watching a news report. Okay, do these guys know anything about babies other than the fact that they spit up and shit? Seriously. Anyway, the dog sees that some construction workers have dug up a giant dinosaur bone, and the dog starts digging. He bites a wire for no apparent reason, and that causes the power to go out. All four of the characters run outside for some reason and find that the dog is gone. They decide to find him before he goes ballistic on the entire town.
Okay, who wants one of Daddy's famous meat burgers?
What else would you make burgers out of? Burgers are made of meat by default. Or is that supposed to be some kind of innuendo? Oh yeah, virtually all characters are designed horribly in this show. I don't know who designed them, but I sincerely hope that they didn't get paid for it. I mean, the breadwinner's characters, they look more like frogs than like ducks, but at least they look like something. The dog eats the burgers and then the grill. I know my editing is shitty, but you see that skipping? That actually came from this aired-on-television cartoon. This guy decides to do nothing other than wave his spatula, which the dog eats. Then he pisses on the house. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna be sick. The nanny comes by, and the man recaps what we just saw. This episode is only 11 minutes long. I think you can fill out the time space without being redundant, especially since you're missing several scenes. Oh, and one of the babies eats a chair, in the most grotesque way possible. The dog sees a giant bone and goes after it. Then the group sees him.
Hang on to your diaper.
I can imagine that being the catchphrase for the series. The dog comes to some kind of weird ceremony and steals the giant bone from it. Then he starts running. This gets a bunch of other dogs to follow. Then he sees a giant circular building and thinks that it's his ball. Yes, the plot is all over the fucking place and doesn't really make much sense. They can do whatever the fuck they want because robots, lol. The babies finally get to the scene, but are stopped by a firefighter. They of course laugh once again with mouths filled with drool for no apparent reason. The babies try to get their dog down by messing with the fireman's ladder, but it doesn't work. Instead, it just leads to one of them spinning around, and this gets him to puke an entire ocean. I can't do it. I can't continue. Oh, this is just too awful. Oh, it's you.
If you cannot do it, then who can?
Why don't you? You've seen the puke, the drool, not even the splinter, fresh air. What was this disgusting?
This is your fight. It must be done.
I can't fight it. I can't. Not alone. Can't do it like this. Can't do it alone.
You are not alone. There are many who are with you, who believe in you. You must make your stand here, against this abomination.
But I am not strong enough. It has bested each and every one of my defenses.
Nonsense. You are stronger than you think you are. The struggle against the worst that animation has to offer is arduous, and few have fought as bravely as you have. You have fought many battles, won many victories, and have rekindled hope.
Hope?
You show people that lack of effort can be noticed, and effort can still be praised in this era where creativity is dying. You have the blessing of everyone who knows that their hard work will not go in vain. If not by you, then by someone. Each blessing is a stone to fortify your land. Your castle is strong. Your allies are numerous. Wield what lies within. Wield the sword of hope and conquer this almighty foe.
Yes. It must be done. Let's do this. The river of puke causes police cars to crash. Then we see planes trying to shoot down the dog. It's a 3-story building, not a skyscraper. Either way, the dog drops the bone. Nothing seems to stop the dog, and we're supposed to think that the army trying to stop his destruction are the bad guys.
Leave my dog alone! We gotta save Bullet!
I did not cut anything out. It's really edited like that. You know, it wouldn't hurt to actually use some fucking transitions. In the chaos, the dog gets shorted out with the fireman's water, and not drool for some reason. What the hell's with the banjo music in the background? The dog has been turned into a statue, and the kids are seen as heroes, despite unleashing it on the town.
We want a pony! We want a pony!
You know what? I'm not even going to associate that shit with this one. Any of them. Not even Breadwinners deserves to be associated with this vile, disgusting piece of shit! So, was this it? I can't really imagine anything worse.
There is much worse, young one, but be patient. You are not yet ready.
After what the fuck I just went through, I think I can handle it. I think I can handle anything.
You thought that this gross out was bad? You thought that the animal abuse in Pet Sitter Pat was bad? You thought the characters in Breadwinners were bad? I am telling you, you are not ready!
Try me. Holy fuck.
You hear the screeching of